and then you click on calculate the expense. Now that you have your calculation with you, you can enter this calculation in your tax form you are preparing. Claim home office expense as an employee. Your employer will have to give you T2200. Now, employer will give you this if you are required to work from home as a condition of employment, and this could be either written or verbal. So, if employee is choosing to work from home for convenience but is required to work from office, then the employer will not give you this T2200. You need to have this document. You need not submit this to CRA, but you need to have this document with you. And you can see here for 6 years, you need to keep this document with you for any time. In case there is a review or audit by CRA, you will be providing this document to them for the claim what you're making. I hope this part is clear. So if the company mandates office work but offers flexibility, the employer is not obligated to issue T2200 because home office use is not job requirement. For 2024, the temporary flat rate method does not apply because it stopped after 2023. You can see here. We will be looking at the detailed method, how this will get filled in a short while. So for this, you should have work from home. It comes to the works in the home expenses. If you meet the eligibility criteria, now these are the things which can claim: heat, water, utility portion of electricity, heat and water of your condominium fee. This can claim portion of your monthly condominium fee, can calculate the portion of fee that relates to electricity, heat and water used in your personal unit using a reasonable basis. If you paid the electricity, heat, water consumed within your personal unit directly, service provider, no portion of condominium fee is deductible. Calculate the reasonable portion of condominium fee that you can claim. You may need contact condominium administrator to obtain following information: cost of eligible service, electricity, heat and water paid by condominium administrator for the whole condominium building of the current or previous year. Then total condominium fee paid by all co-owners of the same year. So this is a challenging part if you are staying in a condominium to get it from the management. Then see here, cost of electricity, heat, water paid by condominium administrator for the condominium building for entire year. So have that, divide that by total condominium fee by all co-owner year, number of unit co-owners who are paid, that will get divided, and then you multiply that by 100, convert that in percentage, and that is the percentage of condominium fee corresponding to electricity, heat and water. Then you multiply that by total condominium fee you paid for this period, and then you will get the that you can claim. This is the calculation. Then home internet access fee. Here you can claim monthly home internet access fee. The cost of plan must be reasonable. Cannot claim connection fees. Cannot claim the portion of fee related to lease of modem or router. This is one. Then maintenance and minor repair cost. Let's see this. You can see here workspace as well as other area of home. Example, minor repair of home furnace or air conditioner or purchase of household cleaning product. Expense related to workspace only, you must claim the total amount of expense if the amount paid is reasonable. Example, purchase of light bulb, repainting the workspace, or repainting wall or ceiling after installation of phone, fax machine and other office equipment you use in the workspace. What is not going to be claimed? Expense related to part of the house that you did not use as workspace. You cannot claim any part of these expense. Example, repainting a bedroom that is not used for work. Then rent paid for house or apartment where you live. If you rent your home, you can claim reasonable portion of the rent related to the workspace. If you own your home, you cannot claim the rental value of the workspace in your home. Then if you're a commission employee, you can also claim home insurance, property tax, lease of cell phone, computer, laptop, tablet, fax, machine, etc. That reasonably earning commission. What cannot be claimed? This is the entire list. What cannot be claimed? Mortgage interest, principal mortgage payment, home internet connection fee, furniture, capital expenses, replacing window, floor, furnace, etc. Wall decoration. This is the list of things which you can claim for workspace in home expense. When it comes to size of your home and workspace, all finished area within the home count towards the size of the home. This includes hallway, bathroom, kitchen. You can measure this in square meter or square feet. So if you're renter, you will have rental agreement. If you're owner, you will have property title or deed with you, in which your measurement will be mentioned. Your unit, square feet area or square meter area will be mentioned. Now with that, you can work on the size of this workspace. So if you have a workspace which is either a square or a rectangle, you can see here as an example. So this is a rectangle where this is table and this is the workspace which has been estimated. So here this is 4 meter and this is 3 meter. So 4 by 3 is 12 meter square. This is how you can calculate if your workspace is like this. If you have a irregular shape, something like this here, in that case, this is a clear edge you see here, 4 meters. And then here you will break down this into two portions. This will become one portion and this will become another portion. So you see here 1.5, 1.5, 2 meter. How this calculation is done? 1.5 meter by 4 meter. So this is 1.5 meter by 4 meter, which is 6 meter square. And then 1.5 meter by 2 meter, that is 3 meter square. So 6 meter square plus 3 meter square equal to 9 meter square. Now, if you have an open concept design, in that case, see here in the open concept design, all spaces are shown here. You have a dining area, then you have a sitting area, you also have a kitchen. So see, this is the living space. Now, in that case, the place where you're going to sit, that you will have to find and then you have to measure. So this dining area is shown here, and here within this entire space, 4 meter by 3 meter, that makes it 12 meters. So this is how you will calculate area of your workspace. Now that you have your workspace area, so for example, if it is 12 meters square, okay, take this as an example. How to determine the percentage of home that you use as workspace? For this, formula is size of your workspace, here in this case 12 meters square, divided by size of your home, which you will get from either your title deed or your rental agreement, multiplied by 100, which is your workspace as percentage of your home. So let's see the example. Here it shows 40 meters square, but we take example of 12 meters square, which I had mentioned earlier. So you will make size of the workspace divided by the size of the, so here it shows 400 meters square. So in that case, here instead of 40 meters square, you will have 12 meters or whatever size of workspace you have, 3 meters square, you will have that. Then size of the home multiplied by 100, that will give you percentage of the home used for work. So you have percentage. So we have seen the percentage of the workspace. Then comes the type of workspace, whether it is a common shared area or a designated room. A common area is a space that has other purpose beside your work. For example, working at kitchen table or using family computer room. And when it comes to designated room, it is only used for your work. For example, you have a spare room where you just focus on work. Now again, here hour per week you use space for work comes into play, and you can see here there are two different calculation here: common, just shared area, or a designated room. So this designated room calculation can come as confusing. It is not confusing at all. Here you see this 40 hours, what is mentioned is number of hours in a week you are working, and here it could be reduced number depending on number of days you are working from home. If it is a hybrid model, for example, you are working for 2 days, then it will be 2 days into number of hours you're working. So that will get replaced here. Now this 168 hours is the total hour in a week, because this is a common shared area. It's going to be 24/7 available. So 24 hour multiplied by 7 days will give you 168 hour, and then you multiply that by 100 to get the percentage. So depending on the number of hour work out of this place, again as I said, could be 1 day in a week, 2 day in a week, 3 day in a week, or all 5 days in a week. You will mention that in number of hours, and then you will divide that by 168 hours, which is total hours in a week, multiplied by 100. That will give you your percentage. Now, if it is a designated room, it's a 100% because you have dedicated that room for this specific work. So this is calculation. Same thing has been given as an example. If you want to go and check this part, which is dining room table is workspace, which is a common shared area, and here spare room workspace, which is a designated area. Open this. This is the example what is given here. Same goes for the spare room here. Then come number of worker in home. So if you are a couple and both spouse are working from the same space, then again multiplication division comes in here, because same space is getting used by two different people. So for each of them, you will have to do a separate calculation. This example is for the shared space. Sam and Terry, they are renting 8-room house. That is an example which is given, and they are using the dining room table, and they use each of them use half of the. So 12 meters square is the dining room area, and since both of them are using 50% portion given as 50%, that is 6 meter each. 6 meter square is getting used by each one of them. Then that gets divided by 100 meters square is a total finished area of the house. So whatever the total finished area is, you will enter it here, multiplied by 100, which is your percentage of the home. Now here, Sam works 40 hours a week and Terry works 25 hours a week. So the calculation you can see here, 6% is portion what came from here, and then multiplied by 20.8%, which is when you divide 40 hours by 168 hours, this is what you get, multiplied by 100. So get 1.4% here. In Terry's case, 25 hour is getting divided by 168, which comes to 14.9%, and then that is getting multiplied by 6% into 100, that gives 0.9. So Sam's case, it is going to be 1.4. In Terry's case, it's going to be 0.9. If it is a dedicated space, so you see here in the dedicated space, the size of the space is 12 meters square. As an example, 50% is getting used by both, so 6 meters square each, and then divided by 100 meters square, which is the total finished area, converted into percentage, which gives 6% the home use for their workspace. Now, since it is a designated workspace, so number of hours they work does not affect the calculation. Now, when it comes to the claim, so this form T777 I'll not be covering. This is quite extensive, and only if you're claiming home office expense, workspace, home office supplies, certain phone expenses, then claiming other employment expense on line 22900, for example, motor vehicle expense, as well as home workspace in the home office supplies, certain phone expenses, all of this, then you would need to fill in this 777. This is the form. See this page 2, page 3, page 4, and page 5. So it's quite detailed and elaborate. So this part I will be avoiding because not everyone has this. As I said earlier, this form T2200 you will have to get from your company, and you should have an agreement with them either in written or verbal that can work home. And once give this you need not give to CRA, but you need to keep this as record, and also any receipt supporting document as record, because here Canada Revenue Agency conduct a review activity to maintain integrity, and the CRA may review claim to validate your eligibility. So this is the form T200, which will be given by your employer. It's a 3-page document. Once you have this document from your employer, now you also know how the calculation for the area has to be done, and you will get the percentage of the workspace area which is getting utilized. Once you have all this information, now it's time to fill the form. This is the calculate your expense page. Here, select year, selecting 2024, and then we'll come down here. What is your residence situation? Rent and have not moved while working from home within the year, own and have not moved while working from home within the year, changed your residence or workspace while working from home in the year. So have to select option, make that selection. Did you earn commission income? Yes or no? So you will make that selection. Down, what type of space do you work from home? Is it a designated workspace or a common shared space? So we already looked into this. Make that selection, and then what unit measurement are you selecting? Once that unit measurement is selected, you will enter common area. Since I have selected, it shows meter square, and then you will show the finished area of the home, then number of hours worked from common area. Here you see summary, calculated space comes automatically. Then here you show period, start and end period. Here you make that selection to make start and end selection. Now here you see I have shown for the entire year. If that is not your case, you work for say 2 months in a year, then you will make the selection accordingly, period, start and end. Or if you have worked multiple time but it does not have continuity, for example, you work from January till about say March 15, and then again you work from October 15 to November 15th. So you'll have to make selection accordingly, and if you have worked again in between, then you can keep adding that part. So this is one way, add the period. Let me take this out. So come back to the entire year. Then workspace in the home expenses. Enter the total amount you paid for expenses for the period. What is mentioned? Enter $0 if you are not claiming the expense. So here, total electricity, heat, water, home internet access fee would have those bills with you. And once you make the total calculation, you will enter that here. I'm entering mine, and whatever you are entering, you must have all the bills and acknowledgement related to that. That goes without saying. Then other home expenses that includes workspace, For this duration, you will make the entry whatever it is. If you have bill, make that entry here. Then comes the maintenance cost. Enter the total amount you paid for maintenance cost for this period. If you have any, indicate separately the cost of maintenance that affect the entire home. For example, furnace repair and the common shared space only. For example, purchase of light bulb for the workspace. Enter 0 if you're not claiming for the expense. What is considered reasonable maintenance expense for home office and workspace? Expense you paid that relate to workspace as well as other area of the home. Can claim the percentage of those expenses that relate to workspace. Example, minor repair of home furnace or air conditioner or purchase of household cleaning product. Expenses related to the part of the house that you did not use as a workspace, you cannot claim any part of those expense. Example, repainting a bedroom that is not for work. If you have, you will enter the value. I am leaving as it is. Then comes total maintenance paid to affect only the common shared space from the duration of the date what is mentioned. What is considered reasonable maintenance expense for workspace? Expenses related to workspace only. You can claim the total amount of expense. The amount paid is reasonable. Example, purchase of light bulb, repainting the workspace or repairing wall or ceiling after installation of phone, fax machine or other office equipment you use in works. Expenses related to part of house that you did not use as a workspace, you cannot claim any part of those expenses. For example, painting a bedroom that is not in use or not used for. So if you have anything, you make an entry here and then you click on calculate the expense. Once you do that, you will get summary, and that summary you can review and also take a print. Let me show you this. This is how the print will happen, and here mentions where the entry will go. For example, T777, this entry will go in line 42. If you had anything here, then that will go to line 43, and if you had anything here, it will go to line 46. Down, similarly, see employment use of amount, here it shows $60 in line 48, and then it will show the size of the workspace, what you have shown as calculation. So you can print this statement and keep this statement as record for any time CRA has an audit. You have this with you as a record, give to CRA. Now that you have your calculation with you, can enter this calculation in your tax form you are preparing.